Hello everybody and welcome to this Prudential RideLondon Summer Classic preview. Yes, the UK's first ever World Tour race will be taking place this Sunday on the 30th of July in London, and it's going to be a big event. It's the 6th edition of the race. And first of all, before we talk about my predictions, which riders I think are going to be up there, let's talk about the route, because that will be the big deciding factor of who wins. So, it's a very similar route to the 2012 Olympic Games that took place in London, the road race, but this is the 6th edition of it being on this course. It's 185 kilometers long, and we start out in the Horse Guards Parade. You can see the finishing line from the start line. We roll out of London and head towards the quartet of climbs that are Staple Lane, Leith Hill, Ranmore Common, and the amazing Box Hill. That comes at 50 kilometers to go, which could do the cat amongst the pigeons in this race, and we've seen it being won before by a breakaway. Could this be a launching pad for someone to get it? But finally, after Box Hill, we roll back into London with the iconic run into the Mall. For this RideLondon, it looks to be a sprinter's battle. 14 of the 18 teams in the UCI World Tour will be heading to London. The only 4 teams missing are Bahrain, Francis Deja, Movistar and Astana. But now let's turn our attention towards who will be there in the running. So, after this Tour de France, this has become the sprinters' showdown. Those who may not have had the opportunity to go on the Champs-Élysées are here in London. We have the likes of Matthews and Greipel, big Grand Tour stars already winning GT stages here. We also have Christoph, John Degenkolb, former Paris-Roubaix winner. Do not underestimate the likes of the fast Irishman Sam Bennett, Elia Viviani, who loves a good flat run-in. He's won a Giro stage in the past, and many other sprinters, including Mark Renshaw on the podium last year, as was Michael Matthews. Let's look towards the start list. Which teams have really brought out the best in their sprinters? Well, I'm going to be highlighting 3 big teams: Bora, Trek and Sunweb. These 3 teams, in my opinion, are the teams that will light up the race. And here is why. It's pretty simple. They have the best lead-out trains. My number 1 team is Bora. They've always been incredible at lead-outs at Grand Tours, the Giro d'Italia and the Tour de France, of course. They didn't have Sagan in the end, but when they did, they showed their colours, and they made the most of every situation with Rudiger Selig. And same thing at the Giro, they were perfect at the lead-outs, just Sam Bennett could not finish it off because Gaviria was too strong. No Gaviria here, so surely Sam Bennett has a good chance. We also have Rudiger Selig, who's been one of the best lead-out men of the year. Lots of upcoming German sprinters in this team, and Jan Bart's the big Czech engine as well. Let's have a look at Trek then, and they have many options. If the going gets tough, Trek will be there, because they have some tough, gnarly sprinters in the form of John Degenkolb, Ed Turned and Jesper Stuyve. All these guys can really hang out in the cobbles and on the hills. This is their territory, and if the pace is high, I'm sure Trek will be at the front laying down the gauntlet. The last team we're going to be looking at in more detail is Sunweb. I really think Sunweb could do well because they have their Tour de France sprint train. We have Michael Matthews, we have Ramon Sinkeldam, Nikias Arndt, Phil Bauhaus in the Giro, we won a Dauphiné stage. Brilliant team and lineup here. Mike Turnison from the Tour de France, Søren Kragh Andersen, brilliant talent. He could go in the breakaway if things end up in that way. Outsiders then. Magnus Kort is one of the people I'm going to pick, the Danish rider. 2 Volta stages at the end of the race last year, hasn't really ridden that much this year so far, but I'm sure he can do something good. Ben Swift as well, second here in the past. He looked in very good shape at the Tour de France. And Jempi Jaka, former winner of this race back in 2015. He also just recently, last week, won a stage at the Tour de Wallonia, and in my opinion, he is a dark horse to watch out for. He won it in the break. But if we're going to talk about breaks, let's bring up some really long shots, and I think we can be seeing a rematch of the Belgian National Championships. Oliver Naassen, Sepp van Walke and Jesper Stuyve. I can see them all attacking away and going for this long range. So, favourites don't usually win, so it's very likely we're going to get an outsider. Tom Boonen wasn't favourite last year, Jocka wasn't favourite, Demar wasn't favourite, Blythe wasn't favourite, so maybe 2017 we could see someone outside of the big names take the win. So let's see what happens. It's going to be an amazing weekend. Stay tuned here for more content during the week. And starting off with tomorrow, there'll be lots of interviews up, so thank you for watching, please subscribe, and ta-ra.